Alright, well, welcome to the Mass Effect 3 retrospective video.
Not 3, just the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, Mass Effect, the retrospective entire series.
Yeah. Since we didn't talk mostly through the last video of Mass Effect 3, I wanted to kind of give our thoughts on how we really think about the ending and then about the series in total. So, I'm going to let Chris go first. What do you think about the ending of Mass Effect 3?
Well, I mean, I've said it before, you know, like, I feel
But now that we have all the information and we can actually talk about everything.
It's hard to put into words, but I'll do my best. Like I said, it's not perfect, but it's not horrible. It goes into, you know, what we were talking about in the previous videos with gamer entitlement, and, you know, I'm glad that it was as debatable as it was, because it brought up a lot of, you know, issues in gaming, and I'm glad for that, you know, where I feel like the customer does have a say in the final product if they're going to be buying it. But, you know, it is the artistic integrity and all that. But to get more to the point of Mass Effect, you know, because I could go on a tangent on my own about, you know, that I love it in the sense that, you know, it does give closure, and it does, you know, it does give that happily ever after thing, but, you know, like at the end there where, you know, everyone's upset about Shepard, I love that. But when you take a step back and you look at the forest rather than the trees, there are issues. And, I mean, I'm willing to overlook them because I still think that the Mass Effect story and all is one of the greatest ever. You know, people talk about how Halo is the greatest sci-fi franchise that, you know, video game has ever known. And, you know, after I'm done beating them with a piece of bent rebar, you know, and I crack open their skull, you know, I try to explain to them why Mass Effect is just legions better than, you know, Master Chief could ever possibly hope to be. I mean, just look at Legion. You know, there are issues with each game, you know, like how, you know, originally going into this, I felt like the original Mass Effect was the best, and then I was like, oh, wow, yeah, there are kind of a lot of issues. You know, now looking back with, you know, hacking and the RPG elements not really fitting because, you know, that was their first big game, I think, after Knights of the Old Republic, and they were trying to emulate that, and, you know, I feel like with Mass Effect 2, they finally stepped into their own, but then, you know, I don't want to say, oh, EA ruined Mass Effect 3, but, you know, I think EA did have a lot to play with the years of warification of 3, which detracts a lot for me. Like, you know, in Mass Effect 2 and 1, we were able to talk a lot about the game. In 3, I felt like we were throwing a lot of filler in there because there wasn't a lot to talk about during the shooting galleries. And I think that's a big issue with games in general today, where, you know, big AAA publishers feel like, you know, they're only able to sell games if they're shooting galleries and there's blood and gore and violence, and a good story can't sell anymore. But, yeah, Mass Effect 3, I think, is one of the quintessential series that any gamer needs to play. And I guess I'll pass it over to you now, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, I feel pretty much the same. I think I probably like the ending a little more than you do, because I acknowledge that there are problems. The biggest problem I have is the choices at the end, not because, oh, the cutscene you choose for all 3 of them is the same, except it's in a different tint. Depending on if you pick 1, 2, or 3, it's like red, blue, and yellow, or whatever.
I think it's
green. I have a problem with none of the choices are really that great. I always go with destroy just because that's it. I've been working this entire series to destroy the Reapers. Mm-hmm. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, to go back on that would be kind of...
I don't really want to, at the, you know, 12th hour, just have... Oh, yeah, I'll just control them. Or, yeah, synthesis is fine. That's the only problem I have with the ending. I really like how, you know, it shows the galaxy is now a better place. It's, you know, we're all rebuilding and we can do it. And it shows, you know, all the people that you've seen and helped throughout the game. And, I don't know, I love the ending. I love how if you get just the right amount of galactic readiness and certain other stipulations, I think you need a really high paragon. Mm-hmm. At the end, Shepard is alive.
Really? You don't get that if it's Renegade?
You might get it if it's Renegade. You have to be either full paragon or Renegade. Mm-hmm. But I know it has more to do with the galactic readiness and war assets. But it makes me happy to know that the story of Shepard continues after we play Mass Effect 3, because if the last time we see Liara and Shepard interact is really the last time we see them interact, I would have been sad. Because I want to think, after Mass Effect 3, they live a happy life together and they had their little blue children and all that good stuff. But yeah, I really like the ending of Mass Effect 3. But overall, 3 is definitely not the best game in the series. 2 is. And I guess that'll segue into what we think of the series as a whole. What is your favorite game in the series?
You know, I don't want to say 2 because everyone says 2, and I don't want to, like, buy into the hype. At the same time, I don't want to be, well, I still like the first the best or the third the best. Because they each bring something different to the table. If I had to choose, you know, the best party, the best story, the best where I felt everything was at stake and I was really invested, was 2.
Yeah.
I do think it's the best game in the series. I feel like 3 should have been better, but, you know, there's the issues with the leaked story ending that, you know, fucked everything up, and I don't get it, where, you know, people going, let's leak the ending and then ruin it for everything. I don't get it. Like, I feel like we're the only 2 people in the world who say, no, let the artist have their integrity because you want the best possible product. If you leak it, then they're going to say, well, shit, now we got to pull up an ABC choice that's half-assed and thrown together at last minute. You know, as we saw in Mass Effect 2, they're building up this dark energy thing with the planets and how it's going to interact. And, you know, even in Mass Effect 3, we saw a couple times towards the end them talking about dark energy and how, you know, I know that was supposed to play a big part in the end of Mass Effect 3, and it got screwed up. And I feel like 3 should be the best game. The most shit happens in it. You lose Mordin, you lose Thane, you could lose Grunt, you can lose Samara, you can lose Miranda, you can lose these beloved characters. I mean, not so much like Samara or Miranda, because, you know, I'll say if they were really beloved, they would have been in your squad. I blame the fans. But yeah, 2 is definitely the best game, I think. Although I hate being, you know, the cliched one. And I guess I'll pass it back over to you, Mike.
No, because that's exactly what I'm going to say, is that 2 is the best. It is the one that has the best feel to it. It just feels like the best made game. It feels like everything they got it right in that game. That the squad was perfect. The character, the dialogue was perfect. The balance between RPG and shooter was perfect, except with the hacking and stuff, which did get pretty ridiculous. Yeah,
I didn't realize how much hacking was in 2.
Yeah, until you sat down and recorded it.
Because it's like, how do you talk over that?
You can't.
Look at the spinny wheel.
Which is why, like, 3/5 of the way through the game, I had to just edit them out. But yeah, I think now that we did this Let's Play the whole series, I think I have a new, like, I loved Mass Effect before, but I think I have, like, an even more, like, newfound respect and perspective on Mass Effect. Like, we now just have these recurring jokes now of things that we just found funny while recording the commentary for Mass Effect. Like, something Garrus said in Mass Effect 1 that was just a passing comment when I talked to him. Remember to stay hydrated!
Remember to stay hydrated.
And remember to brush your teeth 3 times a day, Shepard. Is now just a running joke between us. That's something I never would have remembered or thought of.
You can't make that shit up.
No, yeah. That, then there's, you know, again, doing the Let's Play changed my views on an entire character. I can't look at Admiral Anderson the same way again.
For better or worse.
Because it was at the end of Mass Effect 1. Well, we kind of were always talking about how in 1 he just seems like kind of a crazy conspiracy theorist.
Who brought that up first? Was it me or you?
I think it was me, and then you topped it off with probably my favorite moment in all of the videos we've done. It was at the end of Mass Effect 1, the very last video, is when Anderson makes his speech, and he's like, "The Reapers are coming! We're going to make our final... You know, we're going to be ready for them!" And then he finishes this big, heartwarming speech, and you go, "Alright, you fucking nut."
Humanity is ready to do its part. United with the rest of the Council, we have the strength to overcome any challenge. When the Reapers come, we must stand side by side. We must fight against them as one. And together, we will drive them back into dark space.
Okay, you fucking nut.
That's probably one of my favorite moments.
Well, yeah, because I remember when I said that, it was like, because, you know, when you look at it from, like, Udina or any of the council members' point of view, it's like, okay, you're going a little overboard here with, like, you know, because then in 2, like just kind of like push him to the side and like, okay, Anderson.
Yeah.
You know, like patting him on the back, like, okay. You know, taking him out to pasture like, you know, George did to Lenny.
Yeah. Yeah, the Reapers are real, Anderson. Yeah.
Think of the rabbits.
Yeah.
You know?
Get back in your room.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many great moments that we had, I think. You know, the Remember to Stay Hydrated was great. I remember we cracked up when we first heard him say that. Another one of my favorite moments was, I knew I had to bring Filoni Vision back, which is something that we did in Lego Star Wars 3, where whenever one of us would say Dave Filoni, I would put Dave Filoni on the screen. And when Liara does that mind melding thing with Shepard, the last time she does it, I snuck a picture of him and Reggie Fils-Aimé in there, and Chris just died. That's one of my favorite moments.
Because I wanted you to do that, and I didn't think you were going to. And, like, I remember, like, the first time thinking, oh, I wonder if he snuck anything in here. And, you know, then the third time, you know, fourth time or whatever you did it, it killed me.
Yeah. And then, I had those things that I had to put into every series of Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. I had to at one point edit the, you know, well, bang, okay, into every last video of the series except for 3 had to end with, you can fight like a Krogan, run like a leopard, but you'll never be better than Commander Shepard, that song, which was really fun. You know, there were a few running jokes, like Agent Smith, whenever we brought up Ashley dying. Yeah, just, I had a lot of fun.
I forgot about that one, yeah.
I had a lot of fun doing this series, and like I said, I think it gave me an even better appreciation for Mass Effect. And yeah.
Because it's one thing to play it by yourself and experience it, and then it's another thing to sit down with someone and, you know, I mean, watch someone play it from a year ago, because, I mean, I'm sure there were parts you even forgot you did.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it was a year ago, shit. You know, I can't remember what I was playing a year ago today.
Yeah. Do you have any favorite moments that I didn't mention?
Probably, honestly, in that second to last video, that probably was one of the funniest moments of, I think, Mass Effect 3, where I was there, this isn't even my final form! And you're like, he turns into a giant cigarette.
Yeah.
Because, like, I was, you know, I think, what would his final form be? And then you said giant cigarette. And I was like, yeah, I definitely see that. You know, but most of my favorite moments are, you know, just the natural, organic ones of, you know, the story. I mean, I've always, you know, BioWare is my favorite developer. You know, I hate, you know, I don't want to go on the bandwagon of, oh, they're the greatest thing on the face of the earth, but I do think they're one of the best story-driven developers out there.
Yeah.
I mean, gameplay has always been a little iffy, you know, I mean, Dragon Age has its issues with 1 and 2.
Yes.
You know, Knights of the Republic was very turn-based, and that turns a lot of people off.
I didn't mind that.
But, you know, Knights of the Republic is my favorite game of all time. You know, if I was to ever start my Let's Play channel or do a review channel or start my own thing, I would definitely, you know, kick it off with, this is why this is my favorite game ever.
I don't know. What are your favorite characters?
Well, Garrus, Thane, Grunt, Legion is up there. If I had to pick a favorite, probably Garrus, just because he's the bro. Then Thane, then Morden, then Grunt, Rex. Grunt and Rex are tied, I guess.
Yeah.
Rex is like the old college drinking buddy, you know, that you got in trouble with, and then you hang out with like years down the road, and that's why I was so excited for Citadel with playing with him, because it was like, oh, a throwback to a better time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, not like saying that Mass Effect 3 sucks again, but it was like, hey, you know, the last time we got to play you was 2 games ago. Really enjoyed that. I think Citadel was probably one of the best DLCs you can buy ever. You know,
yeah, definitely.
BioWare is definitely good when it comes to the DLC, but you know, you will get a bang for your buck for BioWare. As another example, something that pissed me off was I recently started playing Dragon Ball Xenoverse, and an issue I had with that is they put out a DLC pack for $10, and you get 3 unlockable characters, 15 moves that are fucking useless, and 3 story missions for $10. And, you know, how much does Resident Evil Revelations cost?
Each episode is $5.
And how long is gameplay?
About an hour per chapter, and there's 2 per episode.
I beat the story mission in 15 minutes. I don't know if that's because I'm really good at Dragon Ball Xenoverse, or if it's because, you know, that's just the way games are nowadays. And, you know, that's why I, again, say BioWare is one of the best out there because they treat the customer with respect.
Yeah.
Any other developer, when everyone complained about the ending, would have said too fucking bad. But BioWare cares about its fan base.
Yeah. So yeah, those are Chris's favorite characters. Mine, in order: Liara, Legion, Morden, Grunt, Garrus. Or switch Grunt and Garrus. And those are my favorite characters. I am a sucker for, like, a good... I'm not usually a sucker for a good love story, but in Mass Effect I was. I was really invested in Liara and Shepard as a couple. I really loved that. Every time they had a scene together, it always made my heart warm. So I don't know. I really like that aspect of that, and yeah, I like those scenes. So yeah, that's about it for us now. We are done for the moment with the Mass Effect series.
Well, I was going to say, do you want to speculate on Mass Effect 4?
No, because when that game comes out, we will do it.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
There's no point in speculating on a game we literally know nothing about.
Well, the big issue that
we saw Krogan under, like, a tree or something, and that was the gameplay.
Well, the big issue that I wanted to, ask for your opinion about was, the Dragon Ball Z effect, which is, when you build up a threat that's so massive, as the Reapers, like Dragon Ball Z did with Majin Buu.
Okay.
How do you top that? I mean, the entire...
You can't, yeah.
And, that's my issue with Mass Effect 4.
That's why it has to be a smaller scale. You don't have to go bigger. Just have to have a threat that's good, but it doesn't have to be...
They tried that in Dragon Age 2.
Uh-huh.
And it didn't work out.
Well, BioWare, my balls in your court. Our balls are in your court, BioWare.
Yes. All two of them. That's combined between me and Mike. We both have one ball.
Yeah. We will probably most likely do the other DLCs that I did not do. Like, I will download the Arrival DLC for Mass Effect 2, the From Ashes DLC for Mass Effect 3.
That's going to be tricky to make.
And possibly the, what's the other fucking one? The Omega DLC. That one's a bit iffy. The other two are definitely going to happen at some point. But yeah. The next game that Chris and I are going to do, whenever the fuck we get around to doing that, is going to be...
we need like a year-long break from this.
It's going to be Lego Batman 3, because that game is really good. And we haven't done a Lego game in a long time, so...
Yeah.
Love you!